This is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is an important video. I want to show you stuff that's going on, repetition pattern that you're going to see continue on, and the actual persecution that is to come, which is here already, which has been foretold, which is prophecy. But it has to do with the magic potion. It has to do with a lot of these things going on. It has to do with some of the shocking stories. And I mean shocking, not the fact that they're making this mandatory, but shocking what I'm about to show you. Even being mentioned in the mainstream media, which is the mark. Being mentioned in the mainstream media. Before I get into that, in the event I get a strike on any of these videos I'm uploading in the next couple days here, please take the time now to pause this video. I know I've said it before, but this is a time to do it because there's probably going to be another crackdown on taking channels down. So if you like to listen to me every day, you won't have to worry about it. I have these 3 channels on the screen. These are my other 3 channels in order of importance. Okay, the last one, obviously, I don't need to explain what it is if you don't already understand what I'm trying to do with the algo. Just subscribe to it. You'll find my work on these channels. I actually have to build that last one out, so I might be uploading stuff on it today or tomorrow. So definitely make sure that you subscribe to all 3 right now. And again, the website at callforanuprising.com, that is where to be. Share your information. It's not just about having a place so you can hear my content. The website's about everyone. People are posting, the stuff that's getting shared there by people who aren't YouTubers is more important than my videos. Trust me. I'm learning stuff. Everybody's sharing. That's what matters most. It's a safe forum. It's uncensored. There's too much. This is too important to ignore. The drama and all this other stuff that we've all dealt with throughout our lives, it's time to put it all aside. This is what the focus should be on because Big Brother is coming and they're cracking down hard. The rise of the beast is here. So the website is a safe place because YouTube and these other platforms, I don't care if it's BitChute or wherever it is, there's going to be crackdowns on all of it. And eventually still on my website probably will get cracked down. So
hey assistant, how can I know God is real? I'm sorry, I don't know that.
What's my purpose in life?
I'm not sure I understand.
What's the purpose of life?
Still thinking.
hey computer, what happens after I die?
Finding the nearest french fries.
So make sure you're on the other channels and make sure you're on the website. Okay, so what are the patterns? Let me tell you a quick little tale here. When I do videos, and I've done them for, I think I'm going on 6 years. One of the things I do weekly, periodically, daily, there's certain keywords I look up to see if there's repetition and pattern. So I'll Google search, all these other search engines, okay, go through the news stories, see if there's repetition pattern, same headlines, all that kind of stuff, which means it's filtered down from above, obviously. One of the things I always do in addition to the stuff going on in the mainstream is I always look up stuff on Satan, Satanism, whether it's a ritual, whether it's the church or the temple doing something. You know, you always find stuff and you keep up with these things and these patterns. I always search the mark. It's one of the things I searched. The chip, I searched microchip technology all the time, and I search for the mark. Nothing ever comes up in the mainstream media for the mark. I'm telling you this, so what I'm about to show you, it's not me being over the top. It's not me saying, oh, you probably never even noticed it. But CNN and the mainstream media to address the actual mark is huge. It's a huge thing as far as bringing attention to it. Now, does that mean that that this is the mark? No, but they're bringing attention to it. And this has to do with the persecution. CNN posted an article, and they put it up as their main article on their website. Remember, this is like the top website that people go to for news, even though it's the worst possible news site. Everything on there is nothing but a lie. Top RNC official in Florida spreads conspiracies calling the magic potion the mark of the beast. They're bringing attention to the mark of the beast. And they're not doing this to warn you that it is the mark. They're doing it to sensationalize it and to get more people to turn on Christians. Now, the Bible talks about persecution in the end times openly and often. It talks about Christian persecution. Now, I know it's ridiculous you even have to tell people what the word persecution means, but hostility and ill treatment, that's the definition, towards a race, political, or religious belief, persistent annoyance or harassment. That's persecution. Okay, they're going to persistently harass Christians. They are going to be hostile towards Christians. And this is how they're going to do it. There are 2 stories out there right now that have gained traction and they've gained traction for a reason. Nothing makes the news unless they want it to. They are not trying to warn people that the jab is the mark. All this stuff is working together for the mark. That's what's happening. So some people might believe that it is, and some people might not, but we all know that this is all working together. Everything that's going on right now, about with the towers, the 5 towers, with the G's at the end, with the magic potion, with the cyber attack, all of it is working towards this mark. Now, the Bible, real quickly, it talks about persecutions. So for those of you out there who are scared or anything like that, don't be. Matthew chapter 5, verse 10. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The Bible talks about it over and over and over. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 17. For it is better to suffer for doing good, if that should be God's will, than for doing evil. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 14. But even if you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you will be blessed. Have no fear of them, nor be troubled. So don't be, but understand what they're doing. You can read this article. Let's start here. This is a CNN main article talking about this politician. Look, if he's a politician and he's making CNN, and it's for a reason. These people don't get put in these spots. And even if you want to hypothetically say he's not one of them, well, they're using sensationalism for a reason. They're taking this story for a reason because they want to piss off, let's just say it, people on the left and people who are taking the magic potion, and to start persecuting Christians and saying, look, Christians aren't doing it not because of this or that. They're doing it because they believe that it's this crazy thing, the mark. And this is going to get people riled up against religion, which, look, I'm not talking about religion when I talk about Christ. I'm talking about the King of Kings. I'm talking about the Messiah. We're not talking about Catholic, Protestant, or any of that stuff. Okay? But they label it as religion. This guy tweeted, posted on his blog things. I'm going to read it to you right now. In May, this guy Feeman called the magic potion the mark of the beast. This is exactly from the article on CNN. A reference to a symbol from the biblical book of Revelations, even though it's the book of Revelation, showing allegiance to Satan. So a reference to a symbol from the biblical book of Revelation showing allegiance to Satan. And called Michigan Democrat Gretchen Whitmer, sorry, I want to say the name right, I know who that is, diabolical for encouraging it. He said diabolical Michigan Governor Whitmer wants her citizens to get the mark of the beast to participate in society. Whether true or not true, you have to see why they would be putting this out there. They're putting it out there to cause division and persecution of Christians. Prophecy shows us that persecution of Christians is going to happen. And it's already been going on, but it's going to continue. And with this, and then you combine it with things in the Bible that talk about certain communities, certain genders, certain way people dress, this is the oncoming and ongoing persecution. They're preparing people to make a massive turn and they're going to blame Christians for a lot of what's going on. They're going to say a lot of the majority of the people who aren't getting it are Christian. Now, not everyone who listens to my channel is. And I would hope that they would consider picking up a Bible and finding Christ if they believe what this channel talks about. But I can't do any more than just do what I do and hope that you can find salvation, because you can only find it through Christ, and that's on your own. But specifically, Christians are going to be a large percentage of who takes the blame for this next false flag that they create. Oh, this happened. And that's because these Christian ministers, these Christian people, even people like me, they'll probably throw in. Although I doubt they would ever want to shed light on me, because they'll probably be afraid that more people, oh, who is this guy? Then they'll hear me talk, like, oh, maybe it makes sense. I mean, listen, they don't usually do stuff like that, but they could, just to try to bury me and try to link me to this stuff, or link me to Q and stuff, which everyone who listens knows I'm not, I don't even believe in the left or right. So this persecution is to come with things like this, stories like this, and then this story about a church in Maine where they do the same thing. They sensationalize the story about a church not wanting to I don't know what the proper term is, not wanting the state to enforce these new restrictions because of the Delta back on the church. In other words, shutting the church down or making people have to go there and wear the mask, or making people have to be Jabaroo to go, those types of things. So there's stories in the mainstream about that as well. That the Supreme Court blocked this main church's attempt to block the restrictions that that they're trying to put on everyone, right? And the articles sensationalize it, and they talk about, the guy. Look, they take certain quotes from the guy to make this. What this does is it irritates people. Listen to the quote that they take: "The so-called Delta variant of the C19er and the threat of the unconstitutionally motivated restriction." So they're sensationalizing the fact that a lot of Christians don't believe anything's really going on. Okay, this is going to ignite more and more people to hate on Christians. This is a time to stand as Christians. This is a time not to be afraid to scream the name of Christ as King of Kings. Don't let this pressure. I'm not worried about anybody who is Christian and listens to this channel. I'm not worried about them being persuaded into getting it. Don't be afraid to stand your ground with your voice as far as your faith goes, because you're going to continue to get condemned as time moves forward, whether this is the end times or not, whether you believe that or not. That's prophecy. The persecution and being condemned is going to come. It's here already. I mean, you have to be pretty naive not to see it, that Christians are being persecuted. And that's what's funny about it. Everything's inverted. So all of these sleeping dumb people think that we're the big bad bully. Oh, everybody's Christian. I mean, it's a joke, right? Everybody's Christian. Now we're changing the tide because you've bullied, people of different faiths, people who have different. That's what they've convinced all of these people. So they're going to look at it and say, you deserve this, you deserve it, because you're the ones who've called, that's their mindset. But in reality, Christians have been getting persecuted. They have been mocking Jesus constantly. I've shown that on this channel, on television, in the media. They've constantly been taking things that are biblical and they've been turning and inverting it, right? It's like I've said, the Satanists do the opposite of the Ten Commandments to be initiated into Satanism. Everything in the Bible, they do the opposite. That's how Satanists live, the do without will mindset. Do what you want. That's how society is now living. But Christians will be persecuted, and with this now, we will be persecuted big time. And expect false flags, expect stories of, in Utah, and these other, the churches still went about their business, they didn't follow mandates, and there was a huge outbreak, and so perished because these people didn't listen to these rules, and then these people went, Christians went to some concert or some movie theater without having it, and their cause, it's going to come. So I'm preparing you. This is the narrative in the media right now. They're bringing up the mark, which is never done. Ever. And you even heard how they worded it. Oh, this thing, everybody, for the most part, hasn't heard of the mark. It should be something that's always taught. If this world was running and wasn't controlled by the opposite people, then the mark would always be talked about, right? Why wouldn't it be? They're bringing it up like it's taboo, this mark of the thing. They know damn well what it is. Excuse my French. They know exactly what it is. Of course they know. They're the enemy. They know, and they're the ones who are trying to get it on everyone. But they talk about it like, oh yeah, this.
Even if your team's not in the same place, your work can be. You just need Asana. Asana organizes work, so teams know what to do, why it matters, and how to get it done. Try it for free at asana.com. That's ASANA.
This mark thing, right? And that's why, all of us who have been talking about it with the chip and everything just automatically got strikes. Like the algorithm was just picking it up and just ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Whether they were against it or they don't want anyone even thinking this way. Well, they know that it's out there, so they have to deflect a little bit here. They have to bring attention to it, and sensationalize it. Don't think a story like this is going to really wake anyone up, and people are going to go, oh, what is that? Maybe it will help a few people, but their goal of putting this out there obviously isn't that. It's to get people riled up and continue to push and press against Christians. We will be a massive part of what happens in the next few months as far as psyops, false flags. It's right out there for everyone to see. Church in Maine, the mark, stories, there'll be more and more and more. Q, they'll try to link it in. I almost guarantee that, right? Because that's the whole point of Q. It's a CIA operation. They're linking in everyone into a political movement that none of us are really a part of. I'm not, and I know majority of you aren't. I know some of you still have hope, not faith, but hope that, the political stuff is really happening, but it's not. It's just not. They can't do all this stuff by giving people any power. They're trying to take away the little power that people have left, which is their voice, and which is the things that go bang bang. The only things left that scare them. Your vote ain't counting. Sorry to tell you. But anyway, this is the story that's out there. I want to make sure everyone knows. Please make sure you sub to my other channels. Again, if you didn't earlier in the video, do it now. This is the end of the video. So they're linked below. You'll see them on the screen. Go and do that. Make sure you sub to the website if you can. You won't regret it. The information that's being shared there is enough for you to go deeper down the right path, the right rabbit holes, instead of the ones that, things like Q are giving you little tastes of it and taking you in the wrong direction, keeping you trapped in the left-right paradigm. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you greatly. Stay strong. Stand your ground. God bless all of you and your families.